think that he's good for you.
How do you know what's good for me? That's my opinion! Don't you get it? Why can't anybody have an opinion but you?
That I don't think that he's good.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Thank you so much for joining Sandra P's Gen Extra. And it is great to see everyone that is able to join me here for the live review. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for being here. This, of course, is the Real Housewives of Atlanta. We are in their 17th season. They're beating Sweet 16 already. So we're at episode 9 and we're picking up the peaches. Excuse me. There are a lot of peaches to pick up because they got some problems. We got some things going on. We got things going on. A lot of it is on social media. A lot of it is in the YouTube streets. And we get enough of it on TV to make it enjoyable. So good morning, everyone. Welcome in. It's great to see you. Thank you. Thank you. Some of the moderators are in the building. Hello, Cece. Thank you so much for joining me during the live. Happy Monday to everyone. I hope everyone has had a great weekend. It's good to see you. Welcome to Sandra P's Gen Extra. Please like, share, subscribe to push the channel up in the TV, in the algorithm so more people can enjoy all of the amazing content. That is all true, and I do appreciate that. Thank you so much, Cece. Good morning to myself, my sister Mods, and the chat. One of her sister Mods that's in here is Linda Gamble. Good morning, Linda Gamble. American born, don't stay away from me. American born, come in and take your seat. She is in here bright and early saying good morning to myself. Good morning, American born. It's good to see you. She's greeting Cece, Linda Gamble. Good morning, Sandra P. and chat. And Linda is also speaking to American born, her niece Cece, everyone that is in the chat. Thank you so much. This is one of the Dirty Diana era shirts. Thank you so much. Of course, that is Michael Jackson, otherwise known as MJ. Grand Rising, another sister moderator, is in the building. Mama B's saying good morning to myself. Sandra P, chat, Mods, thank you so much. And then we also have Linda Gamble saying, yes, her tea came out yesterday on the show and Instagram. Oh, Lord, we got a lot of stuff going on in here. They do a lot. Linda Gamble, my problem is that they cover so much stuff on Instagram, Twitter, all these other places. I'm like, save something for the show. K. Michelle. And let's see, Linda says Shamea can't be out here slut shaming Portia. Now Shamea T is out messing around with the ATL Falcons football player and the NBA player, allegedly. You know, at the end of the episode, we will cover that because I could see that Angela was leading up to some stuff when she was speaking about the job. She said, what about the Falcons? What about the Hawks? Why'd you keep the job so long? And I'm like, oh, Shamea, not good. Shamea came in ready to rumble. Started with the hostess, but we will get there. That's the thing. When you dig one grave, go ahead and dig two, because you're going to fall in. And there's enough of Shamea's tea out there. Come on, we already know. They're like minds. They're two of a kind. That's why she missed Portia so much. Good morning, Mama Bees. Good morning, Ophelia Burkhalter. Thank you so much for coming in during the live. It is great to see you. Thank you. We are getting ready to discuss this explosive episode of Real Housewives of Atlanta. They're in their 17th season. We have made it to episode 9. Thank you. I didn't see it. Oh, you did? It's good. I watched that and also Rhode Island this morning, as a matter of fact. Everyone speaking to Mama Bees, telling them good morning. Everyone greet TNTG Bomb. It's great to have you live in the chat. Great to see you. Grand Rising, Mama Bees is saying to Cece, Linda Gamble, Ophelia, TNTG Mom, everyone that has come in. Everyone, thank you all so much. Make it make sense. Welcome in. It is great to see you. This is one of our fellow content creators. I love watching him. I'm sure you're all familiar. If you're not, get over there. Angela and that note should be talking about anybody's plastic surgery. Shamea was kind of stumbling, Mims. She was kind of stumbling on the way out. And I don't think it was from the verbal blows. And Shamea's beautiful. Her body's beautiful. She didn't need a thing, but it got a little lopsided. I don't know. We'll get there. TNTG Mom is telling Mims, good morning. Everyone's welcoming in. Make it make sense. Thank you so much for joining our live. It is good to see you. Everyone that's in the chat. I'll do a little recap. I love to read comments. I love to engage with the people that are in the chat. And so we will do that. We are just getting started, everybody, bright and early on a Monday morning. Bright and early for me. So here we are, everybody. We are starting out. This is the aftermath. Y'all, can you believe Phaedra started out in her beautiful home with a sound bath, and these women are in there pushing glasses in each other's face, putting long fingernails in each other's face. So it got a little bit crazy. So after this, the aftermath, Kelly and Portia are going into their respective corners because we find out the little hobbit ain't no punk. So Portia had a long fingernail and Kelly had a glass. Security came in because we did not want to see an appearance from Peach Juice. She's always on deck, but she's had anger management, so she can kind of keep Peach Juice a little bit in the background. And if Peach Juice ever shows up, just get under something because she throws light booms, everything. Peach Juice doesn't play. Mims is already making American Born laugh. American Born, he gonna get on Angela. Angela is beautiful. All of them have had their fair share of work, and Phaedra does a lot on people's appearance, and she's the last one. She is really rebuilt. Phaedra's beautiful. I always thought she was cute, but she's rebuilt. And everyone speaking, saying good morning. Kelly always starting ish. She did, but American Born, I'm going to give the start of it to K. Michelle, because after the sound bath, everybody had woosah'd a little bit. We find out dinner hadn't even been served. Phaedra had to get people to pack plates up to go, but they were all sitting down. And then K. Michelle was the one that started. I got something to say, and I'm going to say it right now. If you don't say it on Twitter, but go ahead, K. Michelle. And that is when the little hobbit did jump in and start speaking in that high tone. So it's a trip. Cece said production had to shut that mess down. Phaedra said they can't have all that noise in her neighborhood. Noise ordinance. I don't blame Phaedra. I would have stopped it too. It was a mess. And then Aiden and the other little shirtless boy was out there. Don't do that to them. We watch him get driven to kindergarten. So we don't do all this over here. So we got K. Michelle and Pinky, of course. They're going to go off in a car together. Kelly is saying something about, I might be 5 feet tall, but I can 6'2" a bitch or something. Excuse me, y'all. Too early for that. Kelly, what are you talking about? You have to reach her first. And I don't think you're going to jump up to knock Portia down. I don't think so. I don't think so. And I don't even know how I got to that other than what Kelly said about the married man and then the glass. The glass is a little too much, especially since she lived next door to Kenny Rogers. AB, I didn't know that. She lived next door to Kenny Rogers. Kenny Rogers lived in Atlanta. I didn't know that. So Portia was still yelling. Portia is a veteran. This is why you don't fight with them. I mean, you can fight with a veteran, but you got to be careful. Kelly was yelling out random stuff. She's effed every Nigerian in Atlanta. And Portia countered with specifics. So we get that it's a married man. It happened after the plane. It was a preacher. And Kelly is not really pushing back on a lot of the claims. We know a list has been out there. I think a few people have been eliminated. They said Ben Tankard had a statement that was very believable, which I believe. I don't want to believe anything bad about Pastor Tankard. He's in his jazz concerts and different stuff. He's not out here doing what Kelly was being accused of. Phaedra told that on the Bravo visit to her home. Oh, I have to watch that. It's still floating around YouTube, American Born. It's beautiful too. So Portia's still yelling about effing that married man, the married African. Kelly screaming. And Kelly, you're not 5 feet tall. You've inflated that by at least 8 inches. 5 feet tall where? Let me show it to me. Yes, he had just, I found it interesting. He lived next door when she bought that house. Phaedra's in all the right rooms, I'll tell you that. Angela, did you hear that? So the ladies are trying to calm down Portia. And Kelly's saying, I don't want to be who people want me to be. And so she's leaving. Pinky's going to leave with her. Shamea doesn't want Kelly to be alone. So she's going to leave. And of course, that is the crew. They've split down into two groups. If y'all didn't watch my Heart and Hustle review, please go over there and watch it. Like the video and you'll see we're going to do a split into two groups. Second season in. Y'all, I'm getting a little tired of this. So the ladies are trying to get back in line. Phaedra's a little upset that this happened in her house. And I agree with Phaedra. I don't love it. I don't love that it happened in the house. So that pretty much was messy. We're still getting a lot of views of security. So y'all went all upstairs in Phaedra's house and stuff. Yeah, this was a little bit too much. Let's see. Mem said none of the preachers who were on that list were African. Yeah, that's the part I didn't understand. Because also John Gray, we know that every time the Venter needs to upgrade her car, he goes out there and has an affair. Currently, I think she's still in a Lamborghini. So, John Gray, what you going to get her next time? Phaedra is in every room except a courtroom. Sure enough, and it is curious. We're wondering about that. Mims won't let Phaedra loose. Erica Board is still laughing. Cece says, I've heard rumors that Shamea dated quite a few Nigerians before Gerald put a ring on it. The mess Kelly is spouting may be said about her bestie, too. And Cece, we'll get to a scene now. There's been a rich man that Shamea has introduced Kelly to, and he's worked on her teeth. Congratulations, Kelly. I had to pay for my own teeth. But she said that it was $70,000, and Chloe's trying to find out, where is my Nissan Sentra or something? Can I get something? A mouthful of teeth. These women are a trip. So we go to Shamea gets a scene. She walks up to her family's home looking beautiful. Gerald's taking really good care of them. I'm just joking, Papa Morton. Excuse me. I know you worked hard. So Shamea's going over there. Y'all, the sister is a lot different than when we first met her. Her and the mother are loving being on TV. The mom's in a white blazer, and she's looking more like Madame Diane every day. Wasn't she a lot plainer? A daycare center owner and a preacher and all this stuff. And now she's out here she's ready, cooking grits and dressed down. Papa Morton is looking at them like, what is going on in this house? But I do like the way they embrace and love on Shamea. She needs it. She's feeling like the odd one out. The sister's wearing this t-shirt. I don't know, I don't care, and I don't give a F. So are you trying to sell those shirts? There's something else. So Mama Diane, not Madam Diane. This is Mama. Is her name Sarah? Miss Sarah. She wants to know how Shamea is doing, and Shamea automatically starts in her confessional. My family is always so positive, and so I don't know what's going on in this group. I'm being accused of everything. She's telling the same thing to her mom and her family at the breakfast table. She's just being Shamea. She's just being pretty Shamea, and everybody's bothering her. So they're all talking. Effing for dinner work. My God, today. Cece, she said that it's actually BJ's. It's another job. She's about 15 in. And so she said it's BJ's. So she got a lot more to go. $70,000. I don't know if they're saying $1K per. She says she's behind. Shamea's mom is such a positive energy. Oh, so she got Mims food. Okay, Mims says she's positive. Mims, I think she's a troublemaker. And I think when her and Madam Diane's real issues come out, we're going to be shocked. Because it all stems from the mamas. I'm starting to see it. American Born says, oh, yeah, Shamea's mom loves the cameras. I think so, too, AB. If we look at her first season to now, and I'm not saying you can't get dressed up to get on camera. That's what I would do. That's what any of the people with good sense, Kelly, you in this 3-pack of Hanes T-shirts, except her. Cece says, I took offense to the fact Shamea's mom was cooking instant grits. She could have brought out the stone ground grits for the camera in that multi-million-dollar home. Papa Morton looked like he took offense too, because I don't know if she's cooking too much at all. Sandra got it right the first time. Madam Diane, that's what we call her over here, and people get mad, honey. They're not in here now. We talking about the mamas? Yes, we're talking about the mamas. If they're on TV, we get to talk about them. Y'all see Mama Diane in front of that jet, 14 deep. That's skills. You taught your daughter right. She can pull somebody. They can rent a private jet, 14 family members deep. We see you, Sway. We see you. AB says, I saw that too. I was shocked at Cece. We'll see if Chloe can get a car out of it. And y'all don't send Chloe over there doing nothing. She's in school. And get rid of that gift basket that Shamea gave her. That was nasty. So they're talking to Shamea about everything that's going on. Y'all, the embryos came up again. There's one male left. He's in LA. One female. I don't know if they gave the location. They act like the females are an afterthought. I'm going to have to stop updating on Shamea's situation. It's really, it's uncomfortable. She's so distraught by it. This is supposed to be fun for Shamea. We know she has wanted this show for over a decade. Finally got her peach, season 16, and it's going badly for her. Shamea, I still put the cloak of immunity over you, even though generally it's for the first season. You got left back, so you can still wear it. So she's pitiful. AB says she was shocked. I'm not shocked at anything these ladies will do. We've been working with them for over a decade. 16, 17 years, we see what it is. Shamea doesn't want any more children. Then to gamble, her mom, when she said, well, it'll be God's will. And Shamea's like, So I don't know. I don't know that she wants more children or not, but she gave a confessional and she said, Gerald and I decided that we would have 2 sons and 2 daughters. Again, that's where people with money always think they can do these designer families. You don't get to choose what you're going to have, healthy or not. She also said something extremely disturbing to me. She said, Shiloh might be my baby forever, and that's okay. That is not okay for the Shilohs to be forever babies, because I gotta handle this so carefully. She let us know that Shadina tried to carry one of the male embryos for her after the Shilohs. That's not right, y'all. I don't like it. I don't like it. Mem says, if I remember correctly, Portia's mom lost her daycare because there was an infant fatality. I'll have to look through my old records. Mims, I remember that off the top of my head, and it was so explosive, we barely talked about it, because I think there were lawsuits and some other things involved. But that, if my memory serves me correctly, that is part of it. Also, Madame Diane allegedly had some other things going on where she even lost that building. And even though she was good friends with Shamea's mom scooped it up in a bankruptcy courthouse steps sale without telling the lady. So Portia and Madame Diane were really upset about that too. And somewhere along the way, I'm going to throw this in because everything's allegedly, and in my opinion, I think they might have been fighting over a man. Papa Morton, was it you? I don't know. What's going on? Kiwan JTV, thank you so much for joining my live. This is one of my fellow content creators, Miss Sandra and chat. Hey, it is good to see you. Thanks for joining. If y'all are not already over at Kiwan JTV, please go over there. She is a pleasure, a joy, objective, funny, sweet, and we're growing channels. So if you're Team Replay on one of our channels, consider giving us one of those hypes. So Shamea and the mom, they are talking about what's going on with this baby. Yeah, we'll have to just skip over this. The long story short is there's a male left. There is a girl child left. We don't know who's going to carry them. They introduced us to another young lady. Y'all, a poor young lady from last year. She didn't have a successful implantation or carry. And then the new lady, we saw Kelly meet her. Shamea said, oh, she's beautiful. Shamea, it takes more than that. And Shadina, don't you carry another baby. Don't do that no more. Y'all know that is Dr. Jackie's business. And Dr. Jackie over there specializing with geriatric pregnancies. I wouldn't go over there for anything. That's just my opinion. Not that I'm in the market, but I wouldn't be over there. Mama B says, Grand Rising to Kiwan J. And Kiwan J is speaking to everyone. So we'll just end at the Morton's house. Shamea, you've done a great job providing your family with a beautiful home on the strength of Gerald, or not, because these two, I think, were very successful people. Because if Shamea's mom can scoop up this daycare center on the courthouse steps, she had to have her funds in place. That's really good. So now we get Pinky. Pinky, who was Pinky meeting with? Pinky met with Cynthia. Pinky also met with Portia. K. Michelle comes in, and Pinky is saying that the group has been divided since Dallas. Now, Pinky, you were not here. This is your rookie season. The group was divided before Dallas. Shamea came in season 16. She said she wanted the young, fun, hot girls to be over here. They all went up against an OG or a veteran. They all got knocked down, and this is the aftermath. Remember, we had Britt against Kenya. Kenya talked herself out of a job, but Britt was against Kenya. Had Kelly going against Portia. That's still ongoing. And then even though Angela was new, she was being treated like a vet because according to Phaedra, she looked old, which she never did. We don't agree with Phaedra on that. But Angela has been able to smack Shamea down starting last year up until now. Welcome in, Linnell Seiler. It is great to see you in a live. Hello, good to see you. She is waving at everyone. Welcome in. Welcome. Thank you. So we find out that K. Michelle is being told something about her not liking the other part of the group, not liking her. K. Michelle, the jury's out. We don't know if you made this up. Portia thinks it's the voices in your head, but she's still doing this. Cece says, I am tired of Panky Toe dominating conversations. She's one of those little people with she got that big personality. She does do that. We saw a scene that production didn't even show us because I don't think Portia got a word in. So she'll talk about that later where Pinky's just yakking. Y'all, Panky Toe is what Cece calls my Pinky. This is Pinky's first season, and she is wearing Sandra P's cloak of immunity, but it doesn't really help her over here. America Born's laughing. I'll say this about Pinky. people get on Pinky, but Pinky, she does jump up to get knocked down, but she gets in the ring. She continues fighting. As we can see, Shamea's last scene, Shamea, girl, that didn't go well. Didn't go well at all. So everybody's trying to find out where is the plot coming from. We get another confessional with Shamea in that leopard skin jumpsuit. Gorgeous, but kind of lying. Maybe Drew needs to sing. I need to sing Delusional. Dennis, can I have that song? Yeah, if you pay for it. I heard he's still out here producing beats if you pay him. Kay is so exhausting. She's the reason I left RHOA. Kiwan JTV. Ugh, I don't blame you. She is hard to watch. And she brings everything in its brother to Twitter. I'm not on X. I haven't been over there since the South African brought it. So you're going to have to put it on screen, K. Michelle, or it doesn't count. Mama B says, please hit the like button, subscribe, and share the live to keep the channel in the algorithm. Replay gang, drop down the conversation, and hit the hype button. Yes, I answer all comments. I really appreciate that. American Born says, that little girl was so adorable modeling. Yes, that is Derek and Pinky's little daughter. Had a really cute scene that is coming up. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. So let's see. Miss Sarah at the end of the day with her full face blazer on in the kitchen, cooking instant grits. CC noticed. This is too much. So they discussed the failed transfers, all of this, the Shilohs being forever babies. Shamea, this was cringy. I think you thought it was going to be hard, kind of heartstring pulling or hard. It wasn't. I don't like that. Especially when we know Shadina, at what age can they stop carrying the babies? Because Shadina is on up. If Shamea's 40-something, Shadina's older than Shamea. So don't do that. Continue to find college girls or somebody that can carry these babies successfully. Linda says it's time to get rid of Shamea, Kelly, Pinka, and K. Michelle. Linda will come in here and issue out pink slips. We're not accepting none of them. Maybe Kelly, but Kelly really needs this job, so I won't even do that to her. Shamea's had a lot of seasons to get it right. And I'm counting before she got her full-time peach. Shamea, I started out loving you, but I'm a little tired of you, girl. You're not doing what should be done. Kiwan speaking, everybody speaking back. So let's just get finished with the Shamea scene. We got a short scene of Portia, PJ, Pilar, or Portia Jr. They are hanging out with Dennis. They pull up to a drive-thru, and Portia getting extra ham, extra this, extra that. Dennis is like, dang. And of course, she takes his wallet. Madam Diane taught you well. Pulls it out. She's looking for a black card. Portia didn't give one of those cards back. She put it on the dashboard. Did y'all catch that? Get him, Portia. So what is Dennis's living girlfriend thinking? This lady must be, she got to be completely zen. This is too much. So they are spending the day out together. We got Angela in the spider house. Angela, I will tell you, you have to get an exterminator. Since the house is already empty, they'll have to put a bomb in there for the spiders, specifically to spiders, ants, whatever other problem you're having. She took off one of them big 12s and she's killing spiders with those. So don't let Shamea see you do that. That is not enough. Keyone says, we may not like the ladies, but they are good for TV. Yeah, I think they got a pretty good ensemble cast. And Andy even said he likes this ensemble. I think they may add more friends of, because Cynthia's a friend of. There's a lot of housewives, but some of them, I don't know. He may give them another season. He likes what's happening, and they're getting a lot of buzz. A lot of buzz. Kelly goes to Phaedra's house. I'm going to give Kelly kudos for this, because where you act out, that's where you need to apologize. She shows up at Phaedra's house. Was she carrying flowers? She was bringing something. I think she had two more beds, because she asked the butler, can you help me in with the 2 beds? Yes, I said butler over at Phaedra's house. So we can make fun of Phaedra being on pause for 7 years, but guess what? She didn't miss a bill, okay? Apollo and his brother did that time. None of the stink is on her, and here she is back, smelling like roses. But when she came in, Phaedra started feeling all over the lady. You wearing a bra? Phaedra, stop doing this. Kelly's like, no, do I ever wear a bra? She's in the confessional with her lavender Fraggle Rock look. It was kind of cute with the feathers. And he said, do you own any bras? She flashed them. Did you see me? They had to blur her out. Kelly, that's tacky. Please bring the 3-pack of Hanes back. We don't want to see this anymore. This is crazy. So her and Phaedra are talking. She apologizes for what happened. She says she's going through a lot. Phaedra wants to know, what are you going through? Kelly, you 2 seasons in now. You know better than to tell this lady your business. And you're not going to find out anything about Phaedra other than Mr. President and what he's doing. But I think Dylan might be charging her because he hasn't made an appearance. And also Aiden. She can get Aiden to show up. He'll even show up shirtless. That's her baby. So they're talking about what's going on in their lives. Kelly is saying that she's struggling, but she didn't want like the whole group to know what she's going through. She might have said that at the event so that people can laugh in my face. I agree with you, Kelly, because y'all don't really take each other under your wings when you're going through something. You start making fun and laughing and talking about rent and making up songs, and it's not cute. It's not funny. It's not a sisterhood. But again, we'll keep watching. Didn't she look like Down in Fraggle Rock? It's kind of cute, but that is who she looked like. So Phaedra doesn't want the group fractured. And then she does appreciate Kelly's apology and told her that she does. What are you going through? He don't want them to film. You dragged that man like a dog during your first season. So Pastor Cavassier or whatever his name is, Tabalos, he have like 3 different names online. He said they're not filming this season. They even showed a picture with Kelly, Chloe, and the 3 younger girls. Why they had their face blurred out, y'all? So he's not playing with you, Kelly. And now you got another man under an alias on TV and claiming that you are servicing him per tooth. You only got 32 teeth and he don't pay $70,000. And Chloe is have to take an Uber around. Kelly's a trip. So Phaedra tells her helpfully, she says, well, when they get married, it doesn't get better. They still want the control. And Kelly said, that scares me because you married that man for his money. And when he no longer had any more, you dismissed him and he's mad about it. We know it. Kelly does the same thing to others when she finds out info. AB, doesn't she? And now she expects a different type grace when she's going through. And we would have had compassion for Kelly, but some of us remember her coming on there paying $6,000 for a dog party and all this kind of foolishness. So no, Kelly, you're not going to get a lot of the sympathy that you would otherwise get. Later on, we will see her. I won't cover the whole scene, but this is the reason why people can't with Kelly. She's crying, folks. She's struggling, but now she's got a new man, a rich man that Shamea has introduced her to. He's paying $70,000 for a new smile. And I think the people that she owed for rent for one of Nana's location was about 70 or 80,000. Y'all better get in there and confiscate them teeth because I would. Kelly, I'd be all over you. I don't like that. Kelly's a trip. Priorities. So also, I don't know, Shamea comes in there in the same outfit. Y'all playing that. The same, we dressed alike. They start humping each other in the dentist chair and Shamea sitting all over the equipment. This was crazy. Next, we'll do the scene with the little 4-year-old, Derek and Pinky's 4-year-old. Remember, Pinky won't let us forget. She had 3 babies in 3 years after knowing this man about 3 months. So Derek, you got it locked down. And then she had 2 bonus children. Derek already had 2 girls. So they're doing a fashion shoot. The little girl is the ambassador for some type product that's in Philly. I don't know if it's a clothing line. I didn't look it up and I didn't write down the name, but she is cute and she's posing for days. So Pinky invites Cynthia. Cynthia shows up. Cynthia, we know from the Bailey agency, she loves to kind of mentor and show younger models, aspiring models what to do. Angela comes in with her daughter. We almost forgot that Angela laid Pinky down in Dallas because Pinky, this is big of you to invite Angela. So Angela and Amari are fresh off of New York Fashion Week. Cynthia comes in. I heard you killed Fashion Week. Amari is adorable. Charles with a bow. So she's a tall little girl. She walks in. She got a few of her scenes in. Cynthia picks up D. I can't remember her name. Little girl D. She might go by D. But all of the 3 little ones have D names. Picks her up. They do a few poses. And Derek's like, you can show your mama some stuff. If Derek's going to do one thing, he's going to drag Pinky in front of these cameras. Pinky's doing just fine, Derek. This is her job. We don't need you to keep talking. So they all are having a little photo shoot in front of the cameras. Cynthia said, yeah, I showed her a few things. She showed me a few. They go backstage after the little girls are finished. So they're sitting down and talking. They're filling Cynthia in on what happened. Cynthia's like, woo, child. And Pinky is saying, so Phaedra was sitting there after everything. And Portia started with the finger. Kelly picked up a glass. When Cynthia heard that, she said, woo, we get a confessional with Cynthia, the one with the pulled back ponytail, snatch. And she said, God says to me, whenever something started, he gets me out of there. She said, glasses, not around these cheekbones, honey. I don't blame you, Cynthia. That is your moneymaker. The face is her moneymaker. That was crazy in a dentist's office, shaking my head. Wasn't it disgusting, AB? And what grown women in their 40s play like that? Humping and bumping. I saw Shamea doing media talking about happy pride to Portia. I don't know why she said that, because I don't know if who else typed back. Was it Peach Juice or P. Willie? She said, happy pride back. Rainbow, see you at the reunion. Yes, Shamea, you all know each other's secrets and where the bodies are buried. So if you call Portia out, we're going to see you. Why didn't Kelly have K. Michelle's husband fix her teeth? He doesn't work for free and he is not licensed in Georgia. And I guess Kelly don't want to fly to Memphis or wherever they really live in order to get them little teeth done. So she got to get the little Fraggle Rock 32 replaced through this new dentist who's willing to show up on camera. And y'all, did y'all notice that lady had her face beat? Honey, she was one of those hygienists that was looking like she wanted to be seen. And the man had flowers delivered. And we also heard his voice. Atlanta, do you recognize this person's voice? He didn't sound African, but Shamea introduced him, so I don't know. Shamea, they're going to say, you have an agency in a minute. Where are you getting these rich men? So Derek, let's see, we had D. Derek is there encouraging a little girl, slamming Pinky. Pinky is there talking, filling in Cynthia on what happened after she left the sound bath. Remember, she did a grand opening, grand closing, and she had flights to catch. I don't blame you, Cynthia. That's what the friend of is. She's in almost every episode, but she doesn't really have to tell her business. We see the man with the locks on the phone or whatever event. We'll see a picture, but I don't blame Cynthia. So they're going to try to get something together and Angela is also admitting that, yeah, I have been getting into it with Shamea. I'm willing to sit down with her, but I've sat down with Shamea before. And Angela's kind of skeptical about what's going to happen between her and Shamea. And at the end, everybody, we will see why. Poor Shamea. It's like fighting a baby. Shamea didn't have a leg to stand on against Angela. And I don't think those are rehearsed reads, y'all, because Shamea got like 3 quick ones off on Angela. And Angela is always able to respond. So I found that pretty good. So we see that Pinky is a news carrier. She's telling a lot of information. K. Michelle thinks that the people that are carrying the plot is Portia, Drew, and Phaedra. But now she's excluded Portia and Phaedra, mainly because she wants to make up with Portia, and she realizes that she doesn't have to think it's Portia's show, but if Andy or NBC Universal thinks that, you better make up with her. So now she's kind of fixated on Drew. I believe his office is in Tennessee. Yeah, I heard them mention when they were looking at the house, AB, that he wasn't licensed in Georgia yet. So I could see that. I don't think they're close enough friends where Kelly would fly out there and get her teeth done. Another talent that Kelly has is attaching herself to rich people or people with status and just hooking her little self around them. Thank you, CC. 11 likes and 9 in the chat. So thank you, everybody. I love it when you keep it even. So we need, oh, okay. We have a couple of people that have been in the live and left. Fine. Team Replay, do me a favor. When you come in, either leave a comment, press the like button, subscribe if you're not. And then if you will, let me have one of those hypes. Thank you. So Cynthia is being filled in on Angela. Pinky is doing most of the talking again. And Angela saying she's got to fix this situation with Shamea because Shamea keeps bringing up old stuff. And that's true. Shamea, if she's not bringing up the Michael Jackson, LaToya Jackson comment, then don't bring up Flavor Flav, any of this stuff anymore. We don't want to hear it anymore. So Pinky's saying that she is an investigator, and she tells Angela, you're my friend, so I can tell you this now. You kind of start a little bit of stuff, and then there's a situation. And Angela's like, okay, I'll let you say that, but I'm not going to let you leave me out there like that. So they're joking together. I'm glad that they're able to do this because honestly, I thought the fight that Pinky, the verbal altercation that Pinky and Angela had in Dallas was probably the worst one, even including what we saw last night, even what we saw between Portia and Kelly last week. But Pinky was able to just brush it off. And that's why I think Pinky's a good housewife. So they're going to bring the group together. We get a confessional with Angela. Now, Angela, this is what you are known for. She says, I'm willing to bring the group together. And if I have to give a call to Shamea, then I'll do that. and she does it with a straight face. So she's a mess. So we see at that private meeting that Pinky and Portia had where Portia didn't get a word in. Excuse me, everyone, I have to go off camera a moment and turn the air on. Thank you. So they're going to meet for lunch. They're getting a lot of lunches in. That's good. Work that NBC Universal card. So they're getting a lot of lunches in. And then we get a scene that is complete and total foolishness. Drew is meeting with her manager. One thing I do like that production did, they show us Drew's bona fides, which those of us that know. I've been aware of Drew for years, since before the game, but she has been Drew Sidora. She had the character on that show was named after her. So I don't know what K. Michelle's talking about, that she's to be Drew and all this kind of stuff. We know Drew. Some of us knew Drew before we knew you. Shout out to Nene. So Drew's meeting with the manager. The manager's saying about 15 people are coming in for a staff meeting. Now, does the staff know that they are probably interns? Because we get Drew in a confessional looking beautiful, but telling us, Drew, you're lying. She said, I pay my people. I don't know where that comes from. It's been said, but it's not true. I pay my people. Drew, there was a boy last week complaining that you didn't pay him for some styling of a video shoot. Then he got mad at Dennis, said that Dennis is hot dog suck A, and that Dennis owes him too. So Drew, then we get all of these people in a meeting. Y'all, Drew had a confessional where production said, how many people do you have on staff? Production counted, y'all. She said, well, between the business staff and then my personal staff, Drew ends up having something like 20 people on payroll. So y'all, that is too much. And the people start getting into it with each other at the staff meeting. Drew has an older assistant, a younger assistant, someone that does the wigs, someone that does her makeup, someone that makes her schedule, everything. One year, the chef said that she wasn't paying her and was trying to use her as a nanny. So she got a Beyonce-sized team, and we love you, Drew Sidora, but you're not Beyonce, Miss Lady. So they start getting into it together. Y'all, why did one of the young men, once he was called out that he's not a good assistant, he called the other man, he looked like a double stuffed Oreo. And the man said, you barely on the team. You were drinking on the job. The older assistant got up and left the room. I noticed that. As they kept starting to get into it, one of the older ladies who was an assistant or something else is her title, she got up and left too. So y'all just leaving the team meetings like that. And the manager finally said, this is getting to a point where y'all are not being respectful. So Drew, what were you doing? Were you trying to get something together like Drew and the Gang? They're not going to do it. Candy and the Gang was a really good show with an engaging staff. I really liked the people. I still remember Brian, beautiful Philip with his mean self. They had a good show for season 1 and they didn't even get renewed. And I don't know why. I guess it's still on pause. But Drew, we didn't need it. You give away a whole scene and this is going on. So Pinky shows up in her signature pink. We see you, Pinky. She got a cute little dress on. It looked like a halter type dress. Somebody told her the pink was pinking. K. Michelle is there. Portia is there. Cynthia is there as the other mediator. And K. Michelle did good when she came in. She looks right at Portia. Hello, you look pretty. Portia's like, thank you. So do you. So we see the ice thawing. I think K. Michelle realized that she came in a little too hot. Portia really hasn't done anything to her, because we have no real evidence of this plot. And now we've got Nosh out here doing interviews and all these people that are talking. Has it been traced back to Portia yet? If there's something that she wants to say about K. Michelle. So she said, oh, you're beautiful. You are too. K. Michelle, you're a fan, and we already know that. It starts storming outside like crazy, and Kay is in her silver cowboy look confessional. I took that as a sign. God's telling me to be the bigger person. This is what we like, Kay. I like when she's fun and joking. I don't like when she's upset and getting paranoid and all this kind of stuff. I just don't think it's good for her. And I think it has turned a lot of the Bravo fandom and audience against her unnecessarily. But she said something that was really interesting. She might have said it in the car when they were leaving. I apologize, I left it out. She said, Portia thinks it's her show. It's not her show. She mentioned that in media recently, that Portia thinks it's her show. And Kay, she said, Portia thinks she run Atlanta. So she conjured up long chin Natalie over there talking about, I run LA. I run LA. You're all adults. Nobody runs anything. If there's a pecking order, the company, the people that write the checks decide that, and not you. Also the audience. We can choose a fan favorite or two. So K. Michelle also says in the confessional what a lot of us thought, and I'm going to make up with Portia. She's bigger than me and she can beat my A. But she is not giving Drew any type slack. She's going to stay on Drew's neck as long as she wants to. Pumpkin going to keep her cowboy boot, or Puddin going to keep her cowboy boot on Drew's neck. And I think they think Drew is a punk or soft. That's why they fly up in Drew's face. I never thought Drew was soft. Drew's in that house going through whatever with Ralph. And I don't put anything past Ralph. And I'll just leave it at that. I don't want to conjure up that man. Production likes him because they showed a picture of him with the shirtless thing on, because K. Michelle mentioned him. Drew, Tubi Sador, has not been able to do anything but have a man over there in the basement with taco meat on his chest. And they pointed out, yeah, he is a man. He is in the basement. And then him and Drew come to some agreement where she and her son doesn't have to move out. So congratulations to Drew, but I still feel like she should get out of that house. I don't think it's a safe space. And we know Ralph has the whole place wired for sound and sight. So Drew, you better get out of there. But Drew doesn't have to move now. So that was just an aside. She called her Drew Tubi Sadora, and also mentioned the man in the basement with taco meat. And production pointed out he was the man in the basement, but no taco meat. Because we know Ralph will go shirtless in his blazer in a minute. So Pinky and Cynthia are glad about the little bit of leeway that K. Michelle is giving Portia. They're kind of making up a little bit. Pinky believes that they do want to be friends. Cynthia said, you don't even have to be friends. Just we could all get together and be cordial. Because Cynthia has been in it long enough. She knows, get this check, clock in, and leave. You don't have to be best friends. So they all start laughing. Cynthia and Pinky are going to go to the bar. Pinky's like, I'm losing my voice. And Portia say, good. Pinky's like, she going to pop Portia. They all start laughing. That's when Portia told us, I had a meeting with Pinky. I barely got a word in edgewise. Matter of fact, I took this meeting so I could get her to stop talking. So Portia's kind of picking at Pinky and how much she talks. So I think they did pretty good with the mediation. They left and went to the bar when a time came where the two of them need to talk. Because I think sometimes when you have the audience of the other ladies, then it keeps things a little hotter than they would be necessarily. Portia was still doing a lot more explaining to me than I would have been doing to K. Michelle. But I did like that Portia got out. She said, well, a lot of the things that I feel like you had an issue with, I was hearing from so many other people. It wasn't worth me trying to even address it, K. Michelle. For that, I'm sorry. I did do that. And yes, she did do that. Y'all, I'm sorry. If there are comments, I don't see them and I'm not sure why. But if you're in the bushes, please leave a like and I appreciate it. Thank you so much for joining me during the live review of Real Housewives of Atlanta, picking up the peaches. This is episode 9 of their 17th season. So we're at a lunch. It's kind of a mediation with Pinky and Cynthia being the mediators. They're at the bar now. And K. Michelle and Portia are making a little bit of a, they're making progress. They're getting there, and I like to see it. So Portia's off the hook, so that's good. Phaedra's off the hook because I think K. Michelle knows she can't really mess with Phaedra like that. And Drew, who's seen as the weak one, the weak link, is still in K. Michelle's sights. So I don't like that. They came back to the table. These two are laughing together. K. Michelle brings something else up. And Portia's like, oh, K. Michelle, I can't believe you're doing this. She said, I'll just say this. You're hearing a lot of things that you've judged me on based on what other people are telling you. Just be careful where you're getting your information from. And then Portia says, I think sincerely, I believed her, y'all. We've seen Portia lie, and we know she can be a liar. But she did say, I didn't look up anything about you. I don't know any extra information about you. So I do believe Portia on that. But K. Michelle is saying that she, in the confessional, of course, she didn't say it to Portia's face. She has heard that there were different things that they were going to get her on. The 8-year rumor about whether or not there's an odor, some other thing. Oh, that whether or not she knew Black. Production shows us Drew saying, you know him. But K. Michelle did greet him with some familiarity. That was another thing. I can't forget what the other thing was. Why did this lady add a fourth thing, something about, and then my toe? Production had to ask her, what's wrong with your toes? They say I got long toes. Okay, we didn't know anything about these finger toes. Just like the people didn't know that something about a fish market and we didn't know that. I knew that because I heard it on the Breakfast Club, but I didn't know about the long toes. She's bringing everything to TV that she doesn't want anybody to know. So, okay. She is a veteran reality TV person. She's had many different shows, including her own show, but she doesn't really know how Bravo works because she had negotiated with them not to mention certain things. And then, as Andy Cohen told her, you brought it up yourself. So Cynthia comes back. She says she's glad they kind of worked it out. And Portia is saying, yeah, within 48 hours, we're going to be in contact if we hear anything about each other. And then K. Michelle says a friend contract. Again, y'all, fans of the show. I'll always throw up old things because I'm a fan of the show, but this doesn't look good. And Kelly did it earlier in a confessional. Because I'm a friend 365 days a year, not 265, which Portia said before the lady ever got on the show. You were back in college when that was going on, Kelly. So Cynthia said, oh, no, not a friend contract. Cynthia caught it. So Cynthia made me laugh with that. So they leave and they kind of smooth that situation out for now. And I think it's funny that K. Michelle calls Phaedra, Drew. Then she says, Miss Portia. So yeah, put some respect on Portia's name. We love it. Let's see. We are getting to, y'all, we might be, the last scene here. We are. Angela is already inside because we see Shamea show up in a Gaultier jumpsuit. Shamea is wearing this jumpsuit. It is gorgeous. Sky-high stilettos. She greets the hostess. Hey, beautiful. How are you? Shamea has great manners. And the lady says, are you meeting someone here today? Here's Shamea lost me. I'm meeting a tall lady, size 12 shoe. Shamea, why are you coming here with this energy? Angela didn't get a chance to bother you yet. And then the host said, I got you, and took her straight to Angela. So host, did you notice that? Angela is like 5'10" or 6 foot, okay? And as a fellow 5'10" myself, we can't have a size 5 or 6 foot. I know y'all think that's really cute and all that, but that will not hold a big girl up, okay? Y'all, that was too much. That was nasty. She started off wrong. Her energy, American Born, was all wrong before she got in the door. She showed up. I was like, yay, Shamea. I love when Shamea first shows up on my screen. And then she started talking crazy. Welcome in, Andre Shannon. Thank you so much for dropping down in the live. It is great to see you. $70,000 for dinner work for one single mom. Kelly Farrell. Shamea, that's crazy. Useless money for a professional dentist was not shown in Real Housewives of Atlanta. Andre Shannon, thank you for the comment. I didn't cover the scene because I thought it was so silly. I referenced it. And I referenced it because the part I think it was planned. They showed up dressed alike. Oh, never not in the same clothes. They are in the same clothes. Shamea jumps on Kelly in the chair and starts fake humping her on this man's equipment. Then we find out Shamea's introduced Kelly to this man. He's paid $70,000 on her grill rather than Chloe over here, as you mentioned, single mother. Chloe over here with no car. And then she owed the rent people over at Nana's 70 or 80K. She put it in her mouth. Kelly, we didn't see anything wrong with your teeth. So now she's going to end up with these extra big teeth. This is crazy. So thanks for joining during the live, Andre. I appreciate you. Andre is a Real Housewives of Atlanta connoisseur and has even met some of the ladies. Y'all, I love to hear that. So she came right in, beautiful, but wrong. Shamea, we didn't like your energy. A big, tall lady with a size 12 shoe. So the hostess took her over there. They sat down. And Angela, when she talks about her discernment, it's real. Because she's giving Shamea exactly what Shamea is giving out. They're looking at each other like sizing each other up. Angela's in white. Shamea's in her jumpsuit. And Shamea said, hi. And Shamea said, well, what made you call this? Angela said, I feel like we should get together and talk. Y'all, it's already started. This is crazy. So the tension is kind of thick. You could cut it with a knife. Shamea sits down. The hostess comes over and pours the water. Shamea's already drinking her water. Man. And Angela is trying to kind of slow the meeting out because Angela likes to get there and eat. That's right. Swipe that card. NBC Universal is paying. This is a work lunch. So she asked the lady, well, what do you recommend? What do you like? The girl said, I love the salmon skewers or salmon kebabs. I love the salmon kebabs, but they're a huge plate. I hope you came in hungry. They didn't come in hungry. They came to rumble. Now, Angela would have ate, but Shamea's already mad. And I don't know if they got a chance to order. They ordered drinks. I don't know what they ordered. They ordered drinks at least, but she was ready. Cece says, yes, we'll go back to the dental. What was so messed up is Kelly's mouth that 70,000 was needed. I think people in Atlanta pay high prices for no reason. Thank you. And I think she just likes to say that because she mentioned 70,000. What, what's that? I paid 200,000 for my divorce, and then had the nerve to be talking about the services she's going to be rendering to this man to make up that 70,000. So Kelly, you basically out here saying, what did Drew ask Britt? Did you sell it? Sell the cat? So Drew, come here and ask Kelly the same question. So Shamea is already in here kind of starting with Angela, who didn't really do anything yet. Cece says Shamea walked in talking slick before she got to the table. Cece's, her energy set the whole scene. And we know that Shamea can be fun, funny, animated. And I don't know what's happened between these two other than we have to go back to her blaming Angela for the demise of her and Portia's friendship. And it's not that. They had a lot more going on, including down to the mamas before their real beef. I don't get it. American Born says, I agree. I didn't see anything wrong with her teeth. Yeah, her teeth fit her. Now she got these big old horse teeth. It's crazy. Andre says, Kelly, you're high. K. Michelle, husband. He does have a dental practice in Tennessee. Yeah, Andre, we mentioned that, but she'll have to fly out there to get it done because he's not licensed in Georgia yet. And that man's not working for free. And K. Michelle's so jealous, even though Kelly's a friend right now, she might get jealous if Kelly actually got in his chair, especially since she's now being accused by Portia of messing with married men, even though Portia said she lied on me last year and I gave her lick back. Now, Portia, I'm with you when you're right, but she didn't lie on you. Miss, we saw you actually messing with a married man, so she didn't lie on you when that comes to that. Andre speaks back. Good morning from Atlanta, Georgia. Yes, good morning. And they have a lot of good restaurants, Andre. Do you ever, if you see something on there and it looks good, do you ever say, I'm going to stop by there and try them out? Because I would do that if I were local. So Angela's giving Shamea exactly what she's giving her. They kind of sizing each other up, looking at each other. So here's Shamea. Start with that buzz. She's being phony. Angela, I feel like when I started to get to know you, it was going to be okay. But it's been like hot and cold. I know we were growing a friendship, but I don't know why it's that. So Shamea's being passive aggressive. We saw what she said to the host when she came in behind Angela's back. You looking for a big, tall lady with a size 12 foot. What does the hostess care about any of that? Get seated at your table and order up some food and hors d'oeuvres. American women being played for cheap. When the rich Nigerian deal with Nigerian women, they have to pay a bride price, dowry, a home, marriage, and take care of them for life before any hanky-panky. Thank you, Cece. I mean, they need to put some better prices on this. You doing all this for 70,000? And I don't know if Kelly's man is Nigerian, but they probably do feel like they're getting off cheap. This is crazy. So Shamea is pretending that I'm trying to make up with you, Angela, but you're just being so mean to me. Shamea, you are passive aggressive, and we saw you come in with that. So Shamea is saying, she goes back to the spirit of discernment. I don't know I think Shamea brought that up. You're saying that you have discernment, but with me, your discernment has been off. That was one. I saw Angela keeping track in her head, but she didn't check Shamea yet. And then she said, you said that I started everything in the group. You didn't prove anything. So you've been off with me. Check. Angela checks it again. And then she says, I still feel like everything I did trying to be friends, just like you were, kind of like you're picking. But Shamea is smiling, but it's not a real smile. It's like a Doberman, like when they get ready to get you. So Angela's finally had enough. She says, okay, why are you always being the victim? You're not a victim in this. And so then Shamea gets started. I'm not a victim. Here comes the hostess. Hi, is everything okay? Can I bring you anything? They didn't order anything yet, y'all. Y'all go ahead and order. Shamea is from Decatur, Georgia. She's married to a Nigerian man. No, Gerald, I mentioned that. I thought he was Kenyan. No, I thought he was Ghanaian. They told me he's Kenyan. But she got a long list of African men, Andre Shannon, that she is able to introduce them to the friends. Key1JTV agrees. But how Shamea came in, yeah, I didn't like it at all. So Shamea starts running down all the problems allegedly Angela's causing. Let me tell you about the drama you've gotten into with other people in this group. And your discernment has been very off with me. So now Shamea wants to name all these other people Angela allegedly has problems with. But Angela, one thing about her, when she does have problems with someone, she's able to address it and they move on. Because what Angela did to Pinky, and production showed a clip, I don't think we'd ever been okay again. I keep one good eye on you for the duration, Angela. But Pinky got up. She came back to work. AB said he's Kenyan. Yes, I found out he was Kenyan because she had 2 weddings. The one in Atlanta. I think Portia didn't go, or did she go? And then the one in Kenya, Portia didn't go because she couldn't lay flat. Cece says last season, Shamea said Candy coached her to overtalk the ladies so they can't make their points or get in reads. This is all Shamea, Kelly, K. Michelle, and Panky Toe does. I noticed that, and that's going to come up in the argument when they were going back and forth about the spirit of discernment that Angela has or doesn't have. Swap out Nigerian for Kenyan. Yeah, he's Kenyan. The spirit of discernment that she doesn't have. And then Angela is really smart. Angela does research these ladies too. She says, oh, are you saying that yourself, or did Candy tell you to say that? Is that the first Candy mentioning? I think that's the first thing. Cece brought it up. Candy said, yeah, overtalk them, still get your point out. Because remember, Candy's little, but Candy was able to, Candy could get her point out. So Shamea is trying to do that. And she said, Angela says to Shamea, you have your own brain you use in Candies. She said, you want an EGOT? You got to put some music out. Do something for yourself. EGOT is an Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, Tony, which Candy is trying to get. The Oscar, I don't know, Candy, that may come from songwriting. Maybe you'll write an Oscar-winning song. The acting, I don't know. They said you're good on The Shy. I think I saw you one season of that with the political bent. You were on that season, but I don't know. So they're arguing. Candy's name has come up, and I do believe that Shamea got coaching. This is my problem with Shamea. Shamea could have came in herself, and she was likable. That's why people liked her as a friend of, because that's who she was. She's the party girl. She'd drop it like it's hot. She was a sidekick. She's Portia Jr. She was doing all that stuff. She was just being Shamea. And now she comes in like, well, I got the richest husband in the biggest house, and I'm going to come in here and twerk and be in charge of the girls. And she doesn't have it in her, y'all. She just doesn't. Her and Angela going back and forth a little bit. Shamea's still drinking her water mad. So Shamea's in the confessional says, I came here to talk about our issue. She's over here talking about kebabs. Don't you see me fighting off a Sasquatch? Shamea has body shamed, face shamed, all kind of shamed Angela a bunch of times. Angela has yet to come back on her. Keep this in mind for later. So she says, I'm thinking about bobbing and weaving. You talking about bobs. I'm thinking about bobbing and weaving from these size 12 feet under this table beneath me. Now, again, that's in her confessional, so Shamea didn't know that. But, yeah, I thought that was a lot for her to do that. Call the lady Sasquatch. Angela had not called her one name. That's right. Angela told her she didn't have to lay on her back. Yes, she's gonna bring that up because Shamea's being real aggressive. Shamea's a very nice woman. Her husband is trying to force that baby on her. It's too much. Nigerian petty men cannot always handle American women, and definitely not in Atlanta, Georgia. Under Shannon, I think they flock to the American women because Cece said maybe they are coming off a little bit cheap. You don't have to pay that bride price, the dowry, pay for this elaborate wedding, take care of the whole family and all this. Might put a mouth of teeth on them and then you got them. But I think Shamea is nice. I don't think she's being herself. I don't like this nasty part of her I see. And I don't like the body shaming that she's doing to Angela. Angela hadn't called her one name yet. And she's been the big, tall woman that came in with the size 12-foot Sasquatch, trying to dodge and weave these feet under the table. So I think that Shamea was doing a lot before Angela even had a chance to do it. So Angela says, you have a problem with me from the beginning. You said I broke up your friendship. Y'all, this gets Shamea where she lived. I'm not here to talk about Portia. I'm not going to talk about Portia. Production's going to talk about Portia. Y'all, why did they insert the scene from the reunion where Angela is mentioning Portia? And Shamea says, because you said that I felt that the friendship was unequal. And I didn't say that. They pan over the Portia. Portia was sitting there paying the whole situation dust. So that's when Shamea knew that their friendship was over because Portia was no longer fighting for her. Portia let it go. And Shamea knows it. CC, thank you. 11 likes, 12 in the chat. Thank you so much. Thank you. So they still getting into it. You said, I broke up your friendship. I'm not here to talk about Portia. I won't talk about Portia. But production still wants to talk about Portia because K. Michelle, some may say it's her show. So they put that up there. And then Angela says, did you even tell K. Michelle how we initially fell out? And Shamea said, no, I didn't tell her how we initially fell back. And that's when they brought up the reunion. And she said about the friendship being lopsided. She doesn't want to talk about that. So Shamea gets a confessional where she's in the pretty leopard jumpsuit and the long hair. And she said, this lady is committed to being mad at me. She's not mad at Portia, who said she'll F her husband. I left. Ha ha ha. I apologized. I shouldn't have left. And she's still mad at me. Sis, what's really wrong? Now, Shamea, at the time, I thought it was so strange, you being a married woman down there, to laugh about that. But you did laugh because you were being a pick-me and a sidekick for Portia. I don't know why Angela is no longer mad at Portia. I guess it's easier to make up with her than to feud with her. But again, you can't decide who's going to stay mad at somebody or not. I think Shamea is still madder at Angela, the fact that Angela is now friends with Portia and Shamea still isn't. Shamea's husband be happy that the 2 children by Shamea let it go. She only 44 years old. She said, you see Andre Shannon during that scene with her parents, she said that when we first got married, we said we're going to have 2 boys and 2 girls. So they had this idyllic idea in their mind of what they're going to do, but God has a different plan. She let us know last week, 5 unsuccessful implantations. So she was carrying the first baby, perfect, no problems. She said they didn't anticipate any other problems because the first pregnancy went so smoothly. And she is a young woman, but mid-30s is a, what, Dr. Jackie? Geriatric pregnancy. Dr. Jackie gonna tell you that, honey, if you ask her what's wrong. So I feel like Shamea does still want to be friends with Portia. Angela is teasing her. Are you conjuring up Portia? Are you conjuring up Candy? And Angela has this way of reading people where it infuriates the person, but she's still good. She said, oh, you're bringing up Candy. You're bringing up Portia. I'm not trying to be like Candy or Portia. I wouldn't want to be like Angela. Angela was saying, I love being me. And she's saying, well, you need to use some discernment to sell some of those houses. The real estate ain't working for you. We get a confessional from Shamea is saying, Angela was the little girl in elementary school that had a little ponytail like this that fanned out, and she was mad at the girls with the pretty hair and the long hair. And Angela, back at the table, her and Shamea are still like going tit for tat. Well, mainly Shamea had a head start, and Angela kind of let her live for the first 3 digs that she threw. Shamea wasn't paying with her daughter. With the first one, she had, well, yeah, the surrogate carried the second one. She said that the first pregnancy, she didn't think there'd be any other problems, but there must have been an issue for her to start using Shadina. Remember, Shadina had just had Blaze for Candy. And Shadina, you having all these back-to-back babies, and then the issues that they've had with Shiloh. And I'm a man with nieces and nephews. I'm a woman with nieces and nephews, Andre Shannon, and I prefer that. And you can do a lot more and send them home. That's where they get rich Uncle Rich Auntie from. I love it. Nobody could throw that in my face because it's by choice, and I love it, okay? So Angela is still teasing Shamea. You trying to be like Candy. You trying to be like Portia. Shamea is denying it. I don't want to be like Angela. Angela said Angela is fabulous. And she said that you being a lap dog. Oh, did Drew tell you to say that? Y'all, Drew's sitting over here in a 30-person meeting. She's not bothering anybody. How did Drew's name come up? Y'all, this is crazy. I'm not a parent. I'm not either. That's why I know you said uncle. The uncles can do a lot. I'm auntie by choice. They try to throw that in people's face, but they don't really. Some people don't believe that that could be someone's choice. Maybe they don't want some of these people running around big and that they have to feed. Me too. I love my niece and nephew. Me too, American born. Yes, that's where it is. Like, comment, subscribe, hype the video. That's for Team Replay to please hype the video. Thank you, Linda Gamble. Push the channel into the algorithm. I have 2 brothers married with children. Andre Shannon, I love that. I am one of 8 children, so I have a bunch of nieces and nephews, and I wouldn't have it any other way. I love it. But because we're from such a big family, 3 of us had no children at all by choice, and then one of them only had 1. And then the one with the most only has 3. I don't consider that a lot. Good morning, Miss Jackson. Ooh, you are for real. Good morning, all. She came in. Miss Jackson, we're on this last scene with poor Shamea and with Angela. They get ready to get into it at this lunch spot. Angela just wants to come in and eat kebabs, maybe dig at Shamea a little bit, but Shamea is really angry and she's really talking crazy. So, as you know, it's not going to go too well for Shamea, as it hasn't gone well for anyone that has gone up against Angela. Good morning, Miss Jackson. CC says, yes, good morning. Welcome in. Great to see you during the live. Thank you. So Shamea has already talked about Sasquatch. She's called Angela Bigfoot, size 12 foot, big tall lady. Said that all to the hostess before Angela even saw her face. Angela got there early and all the lady did was sit down. Now, Angela came in looking for a problem too. So Angela's now calling her a lap dog, accusing her of trying to be like Portia, trying to be like Candy, and she calls her a lap dog in lipstick. Shamea is accusing Drew of putting that in Angela's head. Here come the poor little hostess to take their order. I don't know if they took it or not. So Angela's in the confessional going, I might not get to try the kebabs. And Angela saying, I heard you want to be background. You trying to get that EGOT. And she said, Angela is self-made, honey. I never had to lay on my back. I stand on my feet to get what I want. And here's Shamea. That's why your husband leaves you in the morning and he doesn't want to come home. This is below the belt. Up to now, nobody's mentioned the husbands. So Shamea brought up looks first. Shamea brought up husbands first. I know she's fighting for her life, but she didn't have to bring up Charles Oakley. Charles Oakley told y'all, you didn't meet him. He was there. And you're still talking about him. I didn't like that. Angela said, well, when he's in the streets, he see you out there, so you must be outside. Said, you still over there hosting with the Falcons? You still over there hosting with the Hawks? Why'd you keep the job so long? And Shamea said, it pays well. I suggest you get some of them jobs. You ain't selling them houses. And Angela says, lies. Because y'all hosting on a professional level sports team, it doesn't pay well. As you know, when I moved from New York to Charlotte, I came to UNC Charlotte. Thank you, Dr. Cheyenne Bryant. I looked up my degree, y'all. Why was it in my mother's stuff? I knew that's where it would be. So if you haven't put your hands on your degree, y'all, go get it. So that's one good thing that this lady had, all that lying she was doing. But they don't pay well. I had a friend that was a honeybee back at the time. And they were always trying to date these players, married players, and they knew it. But they were volunteer, y'all. They pay their travel expenses. I think they got a little stipend to eat with, but that was free. That they didn't get paid for that. NBA cheerleaders, okay? And this was the 2000s. So Shamea is lying. She may be making a little bit of money now as the hostess for Falcons and for the Hawks, but it doesn't start out as a well-paid position. As Angela said, why are you doing it so long? And now Linda Gamble was mentioning T being out there about Shamea, possibly messing around on Gerald, who Andre Shannon said is a very nice man. And he seems a hardworking, really nice man. And I've heard people drag Gerald's demeanor, like, oh, why is he like that? And he's straight-faced and he won't get on TV with her. In fairness, that man came on TV, Sweet 16, her first season, had the huge party at this house. We know he didn't want to be there, shot numerous scenes at their house, laid out the Bentley. Shamea was the one trying to do all this alliance mess and really messed up her own spot. Miss Jackson said, Shamea seems unfulfilled. And I hate that for her, Miss Jackson. There's so much she could do. She sings, she dances, she acts. She could do so much. And actually, she's so animated. It's like she's doing all this stuff, trying to pretend like she's happy and do all that in her confessionals. I could see her doing scripted TV or movies, but now Gerald has said he's uncomfortable with the love scenes. So if indeed there are rumors out there about her, he's not going to want her out here acting in love scenes. But she could get a job where she's not in with any sexy roles or anything. You know, either her family, Kelly or Candy, pumped Shamea up before her one-on-one on Angela. Cece, I could tell because she came in so hot. Like we said, she already had reads with the hostess. You didn't even sit down yet. Greet the lady, give her a hug, and see what her energy is going to be. She didn't even see that. She came in starting with her. American Born says, and gave her some reads too. Yeah, you could tell because they weren't landing and they weren't really appropriate. Whereas Angela listens, and then whatever you throw at her, she gives it back to you 2 or 3-fold. But Angela can't really have prepared reads because Shamea came in with whatever it was that she was going to say. She really did. How I See It TV, thank you so much for coming in. There are PG-13 movies she can do. Thank you. She doesn't have to do sexy videos and sexy movies right in the man's house. She knows she married an older man. She knows she married a conservative African Kenyan. So I don't think it's fair to try to change the rules on him a decade or more in. Now, you can't just say, I'm going to have 2 perfectly healthy boys and 2 perfectly healthy girls, because that's not your decision. That's never your decision. That's God's decision. Then it says CC and American born. Bingo. Yeah, that we're in agreement. Shamea got pumped up before this meeting, but it's like putting a featherweight in with a heavyweight. Shamea, it doesn't work. So Bigfoot, getting ready to put that Bigfoot right on your neck. Miss Jackson says Shamea is trying to hide the pain being animated, and that's my opinion. Yes, shout out to baby Tamra Judge. I think that too. I think she is trying to hide the pain. One moment, y'all. I got to go offline. CC saying Shamea wants to be that girl like Portia. She does. She thought that she was going to come in. Like I said, she got the biggest house. She had the richest husband. And that really is, Housewives is a different audience. You got to bring a little bit more, because when Nene used to come in, honey, with her tight jeans and t-shirt and a caftan, what she said, I own it, honey. That was one of the taglines. They had to have that charisma and personality. You can't just say, I'm young, I'm hot, I'm pretty, I'm rich, I can do this and that, and the audience is going to line up behind me. Not necessarily. Shamea wants to be that girl like Portia. She does, and it's falling flat. And y'all know I try to protect Shamea, but I just feel badly for her for how it's going. A lot of it is by her own design, the things that she's done. Linda, welcome in. How I see it. She's one of our fellow content creators. Great to see you in the live. Good morning. Kiwan JTV says, I agree. Shamea does a lot of deflecting in her jokes. Yes, I didn't like her reads were really lazy. You're talking about somebody's appearance, and then you leave the door open for people to start saying that stuff about you. So now she's talking about Charles Oakley, and Charles Oakley not bothering anybody. He's over there frying chicken. That's why your husband leave you in the morning and don't come back. And then Angela says, well, when he's in the street, he sees you. So you must be outside. Meanwhile, Angela's still seated, still cool, still the way she reads. So she says, let's talk about the Falcons. Let's talk about the Hawks. Why do you keep the job so long? She claimed they pay great. And actually, she said they don't. Lies. And then she drags Angela's businesses. Angela says, I have multiple businesses that make money. Now, we don't hear enough about the financial planning side of it. Evidently, there was some scandal there. Angela, let us know. Let us know something about the licensing. But we saw her in the Spider House. So there are real estate investments that she has in her portfolio. And Key1 JTV says, I didn't watch the episode in 2 weeks laughing. Yeah, they had another read off between Shamea and Angela, and you can guess without watching how that went. Like I said, like a featherweight taking on a heavyweight. So the people in the restaurant, y'all, I noticed that they were looking around. I wonder if they ever company meals or drinks for people being disturbed. They're looking around because Shamea is yelling in this people's place, and Angela's is sitting there. I have multiple businesses that make money. And she alluded again to the Hawks and the Hawks and the Falcons. So Shamea, I don't know, were you dating any Hawks or Falcons? Because she does not want to give up that position at all as a hostess. There should be a new, young, up-and-coming hot girl that can get that hosting job and be seen. Shamea, you don't have to be out of the house every game. And now you saying Charles Oakley in the street, he leave home in the morning and don't want to go home. You leave in the morning, you don't want to go home either. That's what Angela was throwing right back at her, and it was true. Andre Shannon says, Nene Leakes built Real Housewives of Atlanta. Now it's Portia Williams' time to shine. The spotlight is on her, not her ex-friend, Shamea. Andre Shannon, I don't care how mad Andy Cohen get. He spoke truth one time, and that man said, the house that Nene Leakes built, as Phaedra would say, now catch that. And she did. She really did. They didn't have a blueprint. All these other people now have a blueprint. She's a tax preparer too. How I See a TV, multiple businesses. Angela's very talented. And like she told Shamea, I don't have to lay on my back to stand up tall. And that's true. So Shamea has now jumped up, y'all, in that Gaultier jumpsuit. And I have to say it, she did look a little lopsided because we realized she almost fell. And Angela said, look at you, you're a little lopsided, you almost fell. Shamea said, forget you can kiss this A. Kind of, she popped her bottom a little bit. And Shamea said, with your white heels. Now she's not a reader. She starts to argue kind of like a child, your white heels. And Angela told her, look at you. You almost fell over. Girl, buy another booty. Now, to date, Angela had not said anything about this girl's body, and Shamea has made fun of her 4 or 5 times just walking in. Bigfoot, all this other kind of stuff she was saying, looking for a big, tall lady. And Angela now is, the gloves are off. So she told her, kiss her butt as she was walking away. Angela says, girl, buy another booty. She said, you're not my type with your fake A. Can't even get up. You're lopsided. And then Angela's laughing, saying, I'm not going to get to try these salmon kebabs. Y'all production is so messy. They knew this scene was so hot. They didn't wait to the confessional. They're talking to Shamea outside. She's still outside by her car in a jumpsuit, mad as heck. Oh, Shamea, I hate this. Put this cloak over you, Shamea. It's not helping. So she said, your husband leave home in the morning. She better check her own husband. He leave in the morning. He don't even want to come back. So I don't know. It's Charles out there in the streets, y'all. This scene was hilarious. Shamea, this is terrible. Cece says 11 likes, 21 to the live. Y'all, please like the video while you're watching. Comment, subscribe if you're team replay. Give me a hype, and it helps move me up in the algorithm for a growing channel. Thank you. Make it make sense. Hey, Mims, he's still in here. What are Angela's multiple businesses? Because it's giving Drew with the multiple employees. Well, make it make sense. How I See It TV dropped in and said that she also prepares taxes. So, Angela, do you have a tax preparation business? Now, I mentioned there's something I've been hearing about this financial planning services. I don't know if she's current licensed or not. I was someone that was formerly licensed in financial services industry. You do have to keep the testing and all that sort of thing up to date. I don't know why Angela may or may not have kept her licensing up to date. I don't know. And she still has the Spider House in her real estate portfolio, Mims. So I'm going to defend Angela. AB called it. Angela won. But they're in different weight classes, kind of like Clarissa Shields and Alicia Baumgartner, AB. But Angela did win. She did because Shamea jumped up in that beautiful Gaultier jumpsuit first. And she jumped up so fast, she almost fell down. And so I don't think her butt was lopsided. They've done beautiful work on Shamea. Angela didn't have to lay on her back to get up on her feet. Bars. Angela won with that line, CC. And Shamea, I have to deduct a couple of points. You call this lady Bigfoot. She's 5'9". Oak is 6'9" or 6'11". So he's going to choose a tall wife. And she's going to have big feet. So y'all little feet women, leave us alone about that. Miss Jackson says, Portia and Shamea have been telling their team gossiping about each other being messy. Yeah, I see how Shamea had a chance. This is where Shamea gets it wrong. She was doing her little media laps, and she had 2 messy hosts, but they were doing their job, throwing out the names. Give us the first thing you think about your castmate. Shamea was saying all kind of mess. Well, what about Portia Williams? Happy Pride. So now P. Willie has put out there, Happy Pride to you too. See you at the reunion. Got a rainbow in there. We know what that means. Shamea, whatever Portia has done, you've done. Maybe twice. Between the Atlanta Falcons and the Atlanta Hawks. So we don't know what's going on. And Angela says, tell her husband to look in the mirror. Calling me Sasquatch. So yeah, that's what happens. Now, Gerald hasn't done anything. Angela, why are you popping Gerald? Because Shamea popped Charles. And Charles Oakley already told y'all to leave him alone. So she said, look at your husband in the mirror when he wakes up. She said, the face don't lie. So y'all, Angela, that was easy work. Angela, that's like beating up a baby. Was this fair? Anybody? Was it fair? So Shamea is still outside in her beautiful jumpsuit by her car, mad, saying, talking about me, work on your marriage, Angela. So y'all, this feud is not going to get any better. I can see how they come to blows in Scotland. Y'all, the trip is going to be exciting. Traders Lore is going to come in because Phaedra is there. I love it. And I think Phaedra's the host. El Michelle, thank you for coming in. She just gives a heart. I'm giving you a heart back. Thank you so much for coming in during the live. Thank you. Do you have a cloak for K. Michelle? Kiwan JTV by my own rules, even though they change. This is Sandra P's cloak of immunity. I took that picture at BravoCon. It's with a trader's cape. I have one of my own on order, y'all. I'm so corny. I can't help it. I'm just like Shamea. But the cloak is for first season housewives or first season franchises. So I still have it over Shamea because she got left back. K. Michelle has it because this is her first season on this show. even though she's a reality TV vet, I think she's moving funny and I think she's misstepping a lot. I think she can still be saved. I love the confessional at the car. That's like season 1. Man, production knew it was so hot. They were like, we got to talk to this lady now. Because Shamea, you don't have a chance to get back and say, I'm going to say this, I'm going to address that. You at the car and still mad. She was furious. And Angela was still cool as a cucumber. I'm not going to get to eat my shababs. Angela, I would have ordered that to go. Swipe Andy's credit card. Cece says, preparing taxes can be very lucrative. Just look at Sharnita and her husband. That's right. So I do know that she does have a lot of business. That's what she says. How I See It TV says, Angela's a business consultant and she's a tax preparer and she does real estate investing and she has her fan line coming. Yeah, she had one of the Fangela. She had a fan with her. So what's the price point, Angela? Have you come up yet with the price point? Because I don't think I'll pay more than $20. Mim said, put some respect on Shamea's name. In her prime, she took on Kenya and Phaedra. She told Phaedra, Portia brought out a youthful side to Auntie. She did. Mims, but that was when she was what? Friend of the show. And she was a great friend. She was herself. There's nothing wrong with being a sidekick. Now, Lapdog, I draw the line at Lapdog. But her trying to come in and be HBIC, you can't really do it in a house that someone else has built. Andre Shannon mentioned Nene Leakes. And now they're trying to line Portia up for it. But Portia's not a reader either. Portia's funny, but she's not a reader. CC says to How I See It, Angela's late with the fans, but they are cute. If they're cute, I'll support. Me too, CC. We see she's trying to pick Charles' pockets. He went to the meeting. Good morning at El Michelle. Yes, good morning. Welcome in. So that was the end of the episode, everybody. Let me see. I didn't take any notes on the preview, but I did a separate video on the, you know how they do the preview to the rest of the season, and it is going to really be good. How I See It says, Shamea had the opportunity to be the glue. Instead, she wanted to get a peach on the strength of coming at Portia about 10 years ago, old issues, and wanting people to take sides regarding that. Town bad planning. Yeah, How I See It TV. I'm really disappointed in how Shamea came on season 1 because it was unnecessary. I'm not a fan of alliances. I've seen it ruin many a show. I don't want it to do it here. Don't want it to do it over Heart and Hustle Houston. We are season 2, episode 1. They're starting that mess. We're not doing alliances. It's not good for the show. And as Mim mentioned, put respect on her name because she can be Shamea. She can't be Nene Light or Portia Light because that doesn't work. You got to be yourself. What they say, everybody else is taken. So I don't like that. How I See It agrees. I love the on-the-spot confessional. It was so good. Yeah, because they become so, practiced and rehearsed. No. Production said, come on, you at the car. Don't get in the car yet. They stand in front of the door. And Shamea was still so angry. She didn't have time to talk to Mama Sarah and who Mama say, Mama Sarah, Makusa. And then we get Bible verses. No, you're mad. You're mad. You calling this lady all kind of Sasquatch. And I love it. This is what we love. Cece says that How I See It right. Shamea was perfectly positioned to be the glue hosting peace summits in her home. But she wants to be an it girl. She should be the rich, fun, above it all lady. A shame. Yeah, even when she alludes to that, when they was talking about, oh yeah, bankruptcy, they were bonding on bankruptcy, Kelly and Pinky. Shamea had a funny confession, like, I'm trying to get through the Chick-fil-A drive-thru before breakfast over. I don't know nothing about that. Shamea, that's what we want. We got enough people over here in a 3-pack Hanes t-shirt crying about bankruptcy. Thank you, CC. Replay gang. Hit the like button, drop a comment, and let's hype this video up. Thank you so much. I will finish the comments, y'all, and that's going to be the end of the video because I have Rhode Island coming up. I think I put them in at 11:30. I'm not sure. So if you've watched it or even if you haven't, join me, come back, and we will discuss those nuts. K. Michelle wants the top spot. She coming for Portia and thinks Drew is low-hanging fruit. El Michelle, I think so too. I think that Portia kind of was a more formidable opponent than K. Michelle thought. She actually said in one of her confessionals, I think Portia's dumb. So she feel like she can deal with Portia later. Drew's a little smarter. She wants to go at somebody because she has that reputation like, oh yeah, Kay will read them down. And Kay's an excellent reader, but Drew slept on. Drew can read too. And I don't think Drew is as much of a punk as people think because Chicago Drew will stand up on you too now. I've seen her do it. 14 likes and 18 in the chat. Thank you. If you're in the bushes and you haven't clicked the like button yet, please do so. I'd appreciate it so much. American Born is laughing. 7.5 for the show and a 10 for your review recap. Thank you so much, Cece. I accept it. I'm going to give it an 8 because I have to give Angela. Angela, she raised the episode by a lot of points. I'll say that. And I did like Kelly coming to Phaedra's home to apologize. And she even said, did you accept my apology? And Phaedra's like, yeah, I don't want the group to be this fragmented. I believe that about Phaedra. Y'all better look at Phaedra. Phaedra got 4 or 5 jobs. Phaedra really should never been allowed back on Bravo, but NBC University loves working with her. They love working with Portia, and they need to get like her. Okay, Michelle, this is your first season. You have every right to have the fans on your side. Be yourself. People were anticipating you, and I just don't like the direction she's moving in. It's not her show. It's not going to be her show. So that she needs to take that somewhere. How I see it says, let me circle back to Shamea not having to do love scenes. She has a great speaking voice. She can do voiceovers for animated, allows people to win Emmys, Golden Globes, and Grammy Awards for animation. How I see it, I always compliment Shamea on how animated she is. That's the same thing other people get on her about being corny and being fake and being all this. That has its place. I think what she's trying to be like HBIC and Ice Queen, that's not working because we know that's not her. And we've seen her, remember when her and Portia were getting kicked off of Lake Lanier and Shamea was twerking? That was one of the funniest scenes. I watched that time and again when Shamea had to leave the boat with Portia because Cynthia had to kick Portia between her legs because P. Willie was standing over her threatening her. AB, I'll give it an 8 for Angela as well. And I agree. Great review, Sandra. Thank you, AB, for being here. And I hope to see you at Rhode Island if you're available. A little later on. I don't know if it's 11:30, but I will be here with that. Kiwan says, K. Michelle needs to fall in line and earn her spot like the other ladies. Exactly. Fall back, know your place. You're welcome, but you're not going to come in here and run things because it's not your show. Portia thinks she run Atlanta. She may or may not, but you know who doesn't? You don't. Living in Memphis, and this man not even licensed in Atlanta? Get out of here. And married him 5 minutes before they started shooting and had somebody else in the chamber, and that didn't work out. Now, I would have liked to see the basketball coach. Let me know if y'all heard this tea. K. Michelle wanted to be brought in by Angela, and the tie-in was Charles Oakley. So the enforcer, of course, with all his NBA contacts, is friends or knows this imaginary coach. Because, y'all, I started to think Kay was lying. But Kay flipped the script on them and ended up bringing in this dentist. His charisma and charm escapes me. I don't care nothing about whatever she's talking about, this man's third leg. I don't care about that. So, and he's not, the energy's off for me. There's something going on with Dr. Kaz that I don't like. So, I don't know. I could see that being the case that Angela probably could have brought K. Michelle in if she was married to the basketball coach, and we would see more Charles Oakley. Now, Shamea, you know you're going to see Charles at the reunion, right? And that Gerald's not coming. Is Gerald coming? No, he's not. And he's not even going to be in the phone. So, y'all, this is really interesting. K. Michelle needs to fall. Okay, we said that. And earn her spot like the other ladies. Yes, she does. Bullseye or 100% from AB to Kiwan J. And, y'all, that's the end of the episode. Thank you so much for joining me. And I will definitely see you in the YouTube streets because, as I said, I have Rhode Island coming up. Let me end with Cece's comment. I know Charles Oakley was sick. He couldn't be at the Knicks game when they made it into the final since he's not allowed at Madison Square Garden. Yeah, that was disgusting of the Dolan family to do that. And I really feel like they need to make that right with Charles Oakley because that man has too much of a legacy and history with the Knicks and with New York for them to be able to do that to him. I hated that. Have a blessed day, everyone. Same to you too, Cece. Thank you. And El Michelle is just waving at us and telling us she loves us. We love you too. And we love when you drop down in the chat and say hello. Thank you. People that were in the bushes, thank you. And I'll see you in the YouTube streets. Bye, everybody.
Just put a label on it, even if it doesn't change the circumstance. Because there's so much about this moment that is trying to make people feel like they've lost their mind. When in fact, these motherfuckers are crazy.